You are listening to The Mountain Spirit, a podcast of Christian Appalachian Project. This is a place where we get to share with you stories of faith, service, and compassion. On this show, we believe that we are all connected by our shared humanity, and finding that intersection sometimes just means having a conversation. My name is Toy Adams, and I'm the guest host for today's episode. CAP's Operation Sharing partners with schools, churches, and nonprofits across the 13 Appalachian states and 2 Ozark states, Arkansas and Missouri. Similar to eastern Kentucky, the Delta region of Arkansas has 41 distressed counties. According to the U.S. Census, 35% of families in Pine Bluff, Arkansas, live below the poverty line. Since 2022, New St. Hurricane Missionary Baptist Church in Pine Bluff has partnered with CAP to provide desperately needed items to people in need. Today, we will hear from the pastor of New St. Hurricane Church, Derick Easter. Pastor Easter shares the history of their congregation, how he came to serve there, and what it means for their community to partner with CAP's Operation Sharing as they expand their reach in the community.
No matter where I go, everybody's always asking, New St. Hurricane, where does that name come from? How did it start? So we're 165 years old. New St. Hurricane originally started or derived its name from the Hurricane slave plantation here in Pine Bluff. There on the plantation, the slaves were allowed to worship there in that little white church building. And once slavery was abolished, they literally took that white church building off of plantation grounds and kept meeting there. And as they were deciding on a name, they decided to keep the name Hurricane to remember the heritage and history from where the church came from and what they were delivered and brought out of. And when the church built, of course, they became New St. Hurricane. I've been preaching for 23 years. I was pastoring a church in North Little Rock prior to coming to New St. Hurricane. I had never heard about New St. Hurricane, but they were in search of a pastor. And during that time, I ran a website called ArkansasPreachers.com. During that time, this was maybe about 10 years ago, I would advertise sermons and take the CDs from different pastors across the state and turn those into a digital format and upload them on the website. So they contacted me about advertising for their pastoral search. And I did that, and I said, you know what? Let me take a drive to Pine Bluff. And I decided to apply for the position, and I got it. And 9 years later, here we are. New St. Hurricane has always been involved in the community. It has a rich history and heritage of working in Pine Bluff, Jefferson County, and beyond. And so we have a variety of outreach programs. We are in the schools with our Pine Bluff Reads program. We're doing after school, summer programs, and all of those different types of things. And then we've been doing partnering with the Arkansas Food Bank, doing food distributions. We work with local nonprofits here in our community, helping to supply some of the needs they have, whether that's canned goods to the local food pantry, or clothing to CASA, or working with Access for Teen Moms. And so we really work diligently in our community to serve our community to the best of our ability. During the pandemic, we saw, of course, needs arise to extreme heights. And so we began to really look at how can we get involved even more in the community? What can we build upon even more than what we were already doing? And so when we got together and began to plan and process, we came across the Christian Appalachian Project and Operation Sharing. We got together and constructed our outreach distribution center to be able to minister to our community in a more organized and structured way. What we have now, the Hurricane Outreach Distribution Center, where we are serving our community, Pine Bluff and Jefferson County, and even beyond in greater ways. We were recognized by the governor of Arkansas for our outreach program in literacy. That is a passion of mine. It is one of the first outreach projects, and what we were doing in relation to making sure kids were reading on grade level by the 3rd grade. And so we had what we call the Pine Bluff Reads Initiative, where we had volunteers and mentors going into the schools and actually working with kids who were not reading on grade level. And what we saw was kids improving 1, even 2 grade levels by the time we finished our program. So literacy is a major component of our outreach initiatives here. Getting into commodities and household commodities and things of that nature was a little bit different for us. It was a sort of a new territory, but what we found is that it was extremely important and extremely helpful, because if we could provide that blow dryer or toaster or bed frame or whatever household item that is that they need, that's money that can go back into the home for essential things like food and medicine. And so if you don't have to spend money on those other ancillary items, you can spend money on items that may be, more of a pressing need. We have found that to be very true here. We've helped people that were in apartments or in a home that had no furniture, right? Or they needed other items that we were able to get from Operation Sharing that helped supply and meet a need that they had, that they could apply money to other areas. I serve with a great team that is extremely creative in how we do our distributions. So distributions here are different probably every time, depending on what we're distributing. So for example, a distribution can look like when we have baby items come in. So when we have an influx of baby items, diapers, cribs, and different things of that nature, well, what we may decide to do is like we held a community baby shower. And so that community baby shower, we had expected mothers, or new parents come to the Hype Center, and we gave them a presentation. We talked about other benefits that they could have, and had other individuals there from DHS, Children's Hospital, and other agencies. And then we were able to bless them with items from the distribution center, whether that were diapers, cribs, bassinets, various things of that nature. So that is a targeted distribution. Then we work with the schools. So for example, our schools keep clothing, they keep personal hygiene items, and other things that students may not necessarily have. And so what Operation Sharing allows us to do through the distribution center is to partner with our social workers in our schools to be able to give them items that they can in turn help supply those emergency items that students in the schools may need. Also, a distribution day could look like a drive-through distribution. We've had several drive-through distributions where we have gotten together and sorted items to make a box for a family, whether that's a snack box or whatever type of box that is, depending on what we have. And we'll organize a distribution day, and we may have 100, 200 cars come through, and we offer them a line for prayer and a box. It gives us an opportunity, one, to pray for people that come through, and it gives us an opportunity to give them a box to bless their home and household. A distribution can look like going to the nursing home, depending on the items that we have. We also have 7 small groups here at our church. Each one of those small groups have different community ministries that they work with. And one of our small groups is going to be going to a nursing home, and so they've already picked out items from the distribution center to help those nursing home patients. So that's kind of what distributions look like here. I would say that Pine Bluff, Arkansas is a great community. It's a great community with great people, but we also have great needs. just like other communities, I'm sure. But Pine Bluff has great needs. You're working with people who are part of the working poor, hardworking people who get up, go to work every day, but don't necessarily make enough to cover all of their needs and all of their resources that they need. I could just go down the list of the multiplicity of needs that this community has. Having a program like Operation Sharing in our community, it's giving people an opportunity to serve, an opportunity to work in their local community with the host of volunteers that we have, allowing people to serve their community, but it helps our community to be able to take their resources and apply them to needed things. And so if we're able, through Operation Sharing, to go in and meet some of those other needs that they have, again, it allows them to meet some of the basic necessities of their life. Operation Sharing has been a major blessing to our community. And then, of course, on top of the needs that we've already experienced and that we already have, you have a pandemic that hits. All the pandemic did was build upon the needs we already had in our community. We've seen our needs and requests go up exponentially. We are extremely grateful for the kind hearts and sharing hearts of those corporate donors that give to be a blessing not only to Pine Bluff, but to communities all over.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Does your construction business want to make a difference? The Lend a Leader initiative gives trained professionals the opportunity to serve our Eastern Kentucky neighbors who are living in substandard housing. Join our monthly mailing list to receive one-day opportunities for carpenters, electricians, plumbers, drywall installers, and painters. No commitment necessary. Email volunteer@chrisapp.org. That's volunteer@chrisapp.org to learn more.
At New St. Hurricane Church, there is a commitment to two core values: salvation and service. For them, living out their faith means sharing their beliefs as well as caring for their neighbors. And for this community, their neighbors are not just those who live right next door to them. When tornadoes struck their area, New St. Hurricane demonstrated a commitment to their dual values of salvation and service, mobilizing to tend to the needs of their neighbors, both near and far.
When you have a heart to serve, you realize and recognize that your neighbor is not just the person you live next to. Your neighbor is anyone who's experiencing pain, suffering, hardship. New St. Hurricane is looked at as a leader, not just in Pine Bluff, not just in Jefferson County. Our leadership reach extends well beyond Pine Bluff and Jefferson County. When we realize and recognize that those tornadoes have hit Little Rock, Jacksonville, Wynn, and had an opportunity to see the enormous damage that those tornadoes caused, we realized that we were in a position to help. We wanted to help. And Operation Sharing provided for us a unique opportunity to help in a major way. We were able to galvanize churches from different parts of our state to partner together with us. And through Operation Sharing, we were able to have a semi truck be delivered to Little Rock at the Little Rock Relief Center. And it was such a beautiful and awesome sight to have pastors from more than 25 churches and volunteers there working together, unloading the truck, bringing additional items to go along with the items from Operation Sharing. And we were able to put snack boxes together, family boxes together, to be able to take those to hotels, to sites where families are on the ground, working through the debris And just being able to say, hey, can we bless you with this box? Or to take it to hotels where families are having to be there anywhere from 6 to 9 months and maybe longer, to be able to say, hey, at least you won't have to go out and get snacks and drinks and different things of that nature. We can bless you with this. So Operation Sharing was a major help in that way. But we not only were able to work with Operation Sharing to take a truck to Little Rock, we also went to the Jacksonville area. And the Jacksonville area was done a little bit differently. We were able to serve almost 300 families. This particular day, we advertised, we worked with the local church there in the Jacksonville area, pulled additional churches together. They brought additional items, and then we were able to unload the truck and take items to Jacksonville and be able to put those boxes and different things together and work with the tornado relief areas there to have families drive through and do a drive-through distribution. We were able to also travel about maybe an hour and a half, almost 2 hours outside of Little Rock to a small community called Wynne, Arkansas. Wynne was hit very hard as well. And we were able to work with Operation Sharing to have a truck delivered on site to one of the distribution centers there in Wynne. To be able to see those faces of those families, the excitement, the workers in the distribution center, to know that someone cared enough to organize that, and that Operation Sharing was boots on the ground with the truck, goods, and commodities. And we were able to work with the local National Guard to get the truck unloaded, get everything sorted. And by that afternoon, they were serving families because that distribution center had begun to get really low on their goods and commodities. But because we had the truck from Operation Sharing, it was able to fill the center up again. And we were able to minister to families there and beyond. That has been one of the great aspects about this partnership, being able to work with Operation Sharing. Quite frankly, we've had other partnerships that just send things, and it hasn't been applicable to what we need and how we can minister to people in real time and in very practical ways. Having that relationship and partnership to be able to say, okay, do you need this yet? Is this something that you need? We want to send you, what you need. And that has been that way, all of the tornado relief trucks. Operation Sharing has really stepped up in that way to be able to make sure what we give out is practical and meets needs. We're extremely grateful for that. I see us continuing to meet needs and continuing to serve our community and beyond. One of my trustees said to me the other day, see, Reverend, I told you we should have built bigger. I told you we should have built bigger. And I'm saying, I don't think I remember you saying that. I think I remember you saying this is just about the right size. We're always looking for opportunities of expansion and different things of that nature. Again, the Lord has tremendously blessed us. One of the things that we've been blessed by is people contacting us and saying, how can we help the distribution center? While I have expressed that Pine Bluff is a great community and it has great needs, the distribution center was built and erected by people in this community. One of the things that I love about this community is that people have a very giving and supportive heart. And where they can, they want to help and support each other. We were able to say, hey, we want to meet this need, and we need to expand our outreach and our community impact in even greater ways. The people of this church and community got together as we were looking around and we were working with our city leaders, and we were saying, hey, is there space where we can turn into an outreach center where we can work it and process it? And we're looking at spaces around the city, and finally people says, Pastor, we can do this on our own. We can process this on our own. We got together and we have what you see now, which is 12 to 1,500 square foot outreach distribution center that is completely funded and paid for through our community. It is so liberating for me as a pastor to be able to serve someplace that allows me to lead and to put plans, programs, and initiatives in place that I feel like God has placed upon my heart for our church to do to serve our community. The mission of our church is to embrace salvation and service. That in fully embracing our salvation means that we give ourselves away in service to our fellow man. It's not either or, it's both and for us. Embracing the service part and the salvation part means that we get involved in literacy. It means that we get involved in after school and summer programs. It looks like us constructing a children and youth center that has dedicated space for elementary, middle school, high school students, and a coding lab so that we can provide coding and enrich not only the hearts and spirits of our children, but their minds as well, and set them on a course to be successful as adults. It looks like us constructing an outdoor fitness part, which is the next phase of what we're doing now, that works with our physical bodies and gives us opportunity to commune with each other and make sure our temples are good physically and being able to work out and have those kind of things in place. It looks like us constructing an outdoor outreach center so that we can minister to our church, our community, in even greater ways. I am beyond grateful to serve the New St. Hurricane Baptist Church as its leader and pastor and work with a people that fully embraces salvation and service.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Your generosity has a direct and positive impact in the lives of people in need in Appalachia every day. It is the unwavering support of faithful friends like you that make this work possible. Many of our supporters are beginning to plan and envision what kind of legacy they want to leave to support the causes that are near and dear to their hearts. CAP is happy to provide a safe and easy experience for people to create a will and support CAP through non-cash gifts. Through our partnership with Free Will, CAP offers our donors the ability to create a will online and alter it at no charge. Our partnership with Free Will also includes their Smart Giving Suite, which allows donors to give through their IRA, donor advised funds, and stock online, in addition to creating a will for free. In recent years, Appalachia has faced unrelenting challenges, including the pandemic, inflation, and back-to-back natural disasters. You can make a life-changing impact and leave a legacy of hope in Appalachia. To learn more about non-cash giving opportunities, please visit christianapp.org/more ways to give.
New St. Hurricane Church is filled with caring and determined people who are committed to serving others in need. Pastor Easter shares all of the wonderful work that's happening with New St. Hurricane Church and their desire to grow and expand their reach even further.
When you look back at our past and where we've come from and the great depths of struggle and pain and suffering, but to now be able to not just celebrate where we've come from, but to also give back. It's celebrating and thanking God from how far He's brought us, but it's also a reminder that we need to serve and we need to give back and we need to help build our community and give our best efforts to serve people. And that's one of the things that really makes me proud of this church and this community, is its open heart and willingness to share and serve and give themselves away in service. Food insecurity is a big issue here in Pine Bluff, Jefferson County. Thankfully, we have a few different partners in and around Jefferson County and Pine Bluff specifically who are helping to meet that need, us being one of them. You have organizations and established food banks who give away food on a regular and weekly basis. And what we do is trying to help undergird that food bank whose target and initiative is to only supply food on a regular, daily, weekly basis. And so sometimes we'll have food drives here at the church, and then what we'll do is we'll give that to our partner food bank, which is called Neighbor to Neighbor here in Pine Bluff, and we support and undergird them. Another way is we keep food and emergency food boxes in the distribution center. While our primary initiative is not food, we do provide food also. And then we give snack boxes and other food boxes out through Operation Sharing and items that we have here. And so there may be targeted times during the year where we have specific food drives. Those are different ways that we're trying to help some of that food insecurity here. Our literacy initiative, which I am extremely proud of because it is something that's near and dear to my heart, we have volunteers and mentors that go in the local school, and the school identifies those students who are not reading on grade level. And we ask our volunteers to give us 10 hours a school year, just 10 hours, 1 hour a week for 10 weeks. And they go in and work with that student on an individual basis for that 1 hour. And the literacy coaches typically give us what to work with that student on for that hour. And we've seen students improve 1 to 2 grade levels just from 10 hours of individualized interaction. And then we're able, through Operation Sharing, to provide books. We have a very cool health and wellness ministry. They are a great group. Each month there's a different health focus. Whatever that health focus is, whether it's prostate cancer, whether it's heart health, breast cancer, whatever it is, we have a display and information given out about it throughout the year. I'll just share one story. One gentleman, we did a special initiative for prostate cancer one year for our men. A couple of months later, a gentleman came back and said, Pastor, I'm thankful for our health ministry because I'm confident this initiative saved my life. I never had my prostate checked. And because of the push and the initiative, I went to the doctor and they found something, but they think they caught it early enough. And we can process through it. So that is phenomenal. And through our health and wellness ministry, we've been able to establish in our Hype Center, line dancing. There's a workout room. Not only do they have line dancing workout, we have basketball leagues, recreational leagues. We're doing a track, the pavilion, the outdoor workout equipment, the course for our young people. We're introducing things like disc golf. We're introducing a wide variety of open field events. And so that's what we're doing in regards to that. It is extremely difficult to do alone. It is almost impossible to do alone. You need partnerships. You need people working together. You need people who are willing to put egos and various things aside and be willing to come together and work together to meet the needs of the whole. My dad, who is no longer with us, but he pastored as well, and he often had a saying, it doesn't matter who makes the touchdown as long as a touchdown is being made. It was his way of saying that we're stronger together than we are apart. And that's what makes this partnership with Christian Appalachian Project so important. It is a conglomerate of people who are corporate partners and sponsors who are giving to your organization. And then your organization in turn partners with groups like New St. Hurricane and the Hurricane Outreach Distribution Center, where we in turn can supply goods and commodities to our community and work with other churches in our community in outreach efforts and distribution efforts to help meet the needs of the whole. And while we do great outreach, a lot of what we do could not be done without the support and undergirding of the Christian Appalachian Project. This partnership has been phenomenal as it allows us to give out goods and commodities. The thankfulness that we get, the tears that we get, the joy that comes back our way, we want to pour back on Christian Appalachian Project and say thank you for this partnership. And we are excited to be a part of this conglomerate of people who are addressing poverty throughout the United States. We can help our own children read on grade level. We can provide after school and summer programs for our kids. We can do outreach for our community. We can help improve the physical health of our community. People have given up their resources, their time, their efforts, their energy, and while we are grateful for those partners who come alongside of us, I am extremely grateful for the people who live in this community because they have rallied behind these efforts in a major way. And what you see on our campus and what you see us doing is a testament to the people in rural Arkansas, Pine Bluff.
Thank you for joining us today for this episode of The Mountain Spirit, a podcast of Christian Appalachian Project. We will be back in the spring with even more episodes of the show. Until then, we encourage you to share the show with all of your friends and family. We wouldn't be able to do it without you listening each week and sharing it with others. So from all of us here at CAP, we want to wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Thanks for listening.